mills or tax increases and all that. And by the way, the senior mills does approve a 16% increase. And I understand that that's probably justifiable because just like everybody else, we're looking at a lot of increases in the cost of things. We look at fuel, we look at food, we have a growing population of seniors in Pierce County. It's significant. And but on the other hand, we have people that are going to be beneficiaries of the millage, but people that are going to be impacted by this are going to be ones that are maybe fall into that category that don't necessarily use those benefits, but they're going to be subject to the consequences of having increased taxes too. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And so my whole thing is to protect taxpayers, understand the needs of the counties, the communities, and our townships, and all that. And I mentioned this, with Kurt and the fire department here. We watch the cost of these, fire trucks, tanker trucks. They're double, triple in cost and all that nowadays, and we got to figure out a way to try to make sure that we have these assets available. And it's really not related to the fact that we're paying all this money out for labor and other costs, other than the fact that our fire type protection ratings are predicated on the cost the ability of these departments to be able to upgrade these facilities and these assets in order to give us better fire cost protection codes that directly affect our insurance rates. And if you really want to take a close look at this, and I'm sure we could probably explain this a little better, for every dollar we're going to spend on upgrading this equipment and do these things are going to come back to us probably twofold. So I support those efforts, but I just think on the countywide village thing that we really need to take a really hard look at, how we're funding these things by coming in the back door in August and a primary ballot. Everybody's on vacation in August. Less people show up. I think the statistics are unequivocally clear that we don't have a lot of people that show up in those elections and these things pass. And there's a reason for that, and they know that, and that's why they do that on those dates. And I just think that that's a little disingenuous in my opinion. That's a personal thing on my part. Other than that, we'll go on to the BSNA. Our BSNA accounting software is implemented at the county level. It's actually being used right now. And use some with the old accounting thing just for checks and balances and all that, but it's going to be a great asset for the community. It's going to save us a lot of money. Great system, and we're very, very happy with it. The last thing I want to mention is Trubisky Park. We've been talking about this ad nauseum here over the past couple of years. The water park in Oregon Township has been it's a great idea, but you'll run into a lot of problems with contractors. And one of the big contractors that we've had issues with is the pool contractors. Left us, we actually fired them off the job. We had to actually bond them out. It's been very contentious. So we are at the stage right now where we have new Midwest Pools is in there. They're actually taking over for them. We had to sue and make a lot of threats and all that, but we're finding a lot of things that this previous contractor did that need to be redone again. So chances of getting this water park open this summer, and I said this last summer too, I thought they'd open last summer. They said, oh, for sure open this summer, but actually it's not looking very good. Next summer for sure. There's a lot of work. I was out there this morning with the contractors and Frank Greenwald and our county administrator and a couple of the commissioners, and we looked over what's been done and what needs to be done out there. And we're making good progress now. So things are moving ahead, weather pending. There's a possibility we could get the facility open and operating and maybe have a soft opening sometime later on this summer. It's going to be a great asset for the community. A lot of people go out there, they drive around and see that, hey, I don't see nothing going on, but you got to realize that probably 60–70% of all the work efforts are underground. You really don't see it because the plumbing down there is just unbelievable. What happens underneath the ground, so you really don't see it. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and we're pretty be able to have some sort of soft opening in the summer, and next summer is it. And sure, fingers crossed. If anybody has any questions, that's the bulk of what I have.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Just wondering, where is the registered deeds moving?
Well, they're across the annex building, they're across the street. They've been there for a while, so they moved it.
In that building?
Yeah, right next to the old store
Yeah.
courthouse,
Yeah.
which, by the way, has been renovated, and those efforts continue, and the renovation work. They're doing a great job. The floors are all done right now. If you get an opportunity to go over there and check it out, it's really awesome. They're doing a good job. But they are right next door and with veterans and full annex building, what we call the annex building.
Fire department.
Since last township board meeting, we've had a total of 18 runs, 14 of them medicals, 4 fires. Of the fires, we had a minor accident, an assist to Metamora, a chimney fire, and a gas leak. That's about all I have.
Gotcha. Thank you, Chief. That brings us to our first public comment time. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and I just ask that you follow the proper decorum. Who's first? Yes, sir.
I'm concerned, we put a lot of money in parks, and I'm not against parks at all. But we have a basement here that's just laying here idle. I was just wondering if we could put some money aside some way or another, do some work in there, if that do with increments. Like, pour part of the floor, maybe sometime there, pour another part. Get something going in that basement, because it's just sitting there, and this goes away, so we could be doing something with it. So, like again, I'm not against the park. I think we should have some money allocated towards that basement.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Maureen Fleming-Salico, and I am a candidate for District Court Judge. I wanted to come to introduce myself. I have been a Lapeer County resident for 30 years, actually a resident of Hadley Township for 30 years with my husband John, where we've raised our 3 sons. I've been an attorney for 20 years. I began my legal career in private practice, primarily handling family law and criminal law. After that, I was an assistant prosecutor. For the last 11 years, I have served the community of Lapeer County. I've been in the court system for 11 years now. I started as the juvenile referee and probate register. For the last 6 years, I have been the district court magistrate and trial court administrator. As the district court magistrate, I handle the beginning of criminal cases from search warrants, arrest warrants, arraignments, and bond condition hearings. I also handle small claims cases and informal tickets hearings. As the trial court administrator, I oversee all of the courts. I oversee the probate court, the circuit court, and the district court, the everyday procedures that need to go with it. I work hand in hand with the commissioners on the budgets and what needs to be done. I work hand in hand with the state court on making sure everything is properly being done throughout the courts. I believe my experience gives me the best, to give you the best, to be the best candidate for this position. I understand both the law and I understand how the administration needs to run. I understand how the courts need to run and how the community needs to be served. I am honored and to be supported and endorsed by Judge Barnard, Judge Hodges, Judge Nolan, Judge McCarthy, and retired Judge Scott. If anyone has any questions after, please let me know. Thank you.
Do we have your name again, please?
Maureen Flanagan-Salico.
Please spell your last name.
S-A-L-A-Y-K-O. And I'm on Hunt Club Farms Drive.
Club Farms.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I just want to bring up this Metamora Estates. That's going to have an effect on our roads. They want to put an easement road out to Baldwin. The main road is going to dump on the Broward, where people, it's a exploring designated road for people to use horses. They're estimating 300 cars a day coming out of that stop. And it's going to be tight. They want to squeeze in 86 houses on 68 acres. So you got water, sewage, traffic. So it might just be something to keep an eye on. It's going to affect us, our roads, and
that is Metamora.
Yes.
But it will affect our roads, correct?
Oh, yeah. 300
86 homes.
300 cars a day.
Well, I say that would be,
That's a big thing,
Minimum.
that's all the horses everywhere. So I don't know how that's gonna work out.
blacktop.
They've already cut hundreds of trees down, and they did it without permission. Anyway, that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Connie Reynolds, Hampshire Lake Road. I was wondering if we've heard anything from our grant for the tire recycling, or if we have a date for when the tire recycling will be.
I looked into that. Get back to you. Anybody else? All right. I'll move on to old business. There is none. We got a whole bunch of agenda items under new business tonight. Cindy, we got budget review and adjustments.
Everyone has a budget. I went through the meeting and there's no amendments that needed to be made.
So no adjustments needed. Very good. Anything else on that topic? Great. On to item B, clerk resignation.
Oh, everyone's probably heard that I'm resigning. It took me a while to consider this and go through everything, but it's time for me to do it. It's a hard thing, very hard. I've been here, I'm calling it 20 years, but it'd be, in one more month, it'd be 20 years that I've been clerk, so. And I've really enjoyed serving everybody. It's been nice. Had a lot of nice people. But here's, your Hadley Township Board, this letter is informing that my resignation to the office of Township Clerk, my last day will be May 31st. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. I have complete confidence that you will all do what's right for the township. And I have been so privileged to meet so many wonderful people in the last 20 years. I thank the board and the township residents for the support that you have given me.
Thank you.
And business-wise, it looks like we need to make a motion to accept her resignation, so.
I'll make a motion that we accept Cindy's resignation finalized on May 31st, 2026.
I'll support. Not really.
Don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. Motion by Hardwick, second by Brand to accept the resignation of Hadley Township Clerk Cindy Daly, effective May 31st, 2026. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Perfect.
If all of us vote no, then we just stay on. That's what I was wondering.
Good question.
Don't make it so hard on me, it's hard enough.
Can we table this?
For a year?
Yeah. Is that, any other discussion on that, gentlemen? You don't get to vote on this one, I don't think. Joyce, will you do a roll call for us?
Yes.
Reluctantly, yes.
Yes. Motion carries. You've done a fantastic job, and we are going to miss you. I have some more comments about that at the end. So, thank you so much for all the effort you put in over all the years. That brings us to item C, appoint a new township clerk. I'm gonna make a motion to appoint Joyce Ivory as Hadley Township Clerk, effective June 1st, 2026.
Support.
Motion by Harrison, seconded by Hartwig, to appoint Joyce Ivory as Hadley Township Clerk, effective June 1st, 2026. Any discussion?
I think Joyce would be a great replacement. She helps everything. You can call here and she's got the answer right now. And I think she does a great job. I'd be happy to have her as our new clerk.
I agree. Joyce, will you do a roll call for us, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations. I don't know how much interaction the audience members have with coming here during business hours, but Joyce really is such a gift to the township. So excited to have her along as our new clerk. On to item D, data center moratorium. Would you like to start this one off?
Yeah, since I put it on the agenda. There's been a lot of talk about whether moratoriums work or they don't work, or I think in this case it's better to have one than to not have one. There's been some townships that were the recall petitions because they didn't have a moratorium. Moratoriums, first we'll make a resolution, then go to a moratorium. Does it really stop anything? Probably not, but at least sends a message that this is where the township feels about data centers. They're going to be big time problems, I think, for anybody who gets one. We'd like to put a moratorium on it, probably be for less than a year, and that'll give the planning commission time to investigate, talk with our lawyer, draw up a proposition, a moratorium for it, and then it'll be approved by the town board and people. So that's kind of where we're going. I think it's just a good idea to have one. These things are, I don't know how many people know about them. I mean, you're talking huge amounts of water, electricity. I don't even know where they're going to get all their electricity. They use so much electricity. Depends on the size of the data center they put in. I know 2 residents in this township that have been contacted by data center investigators. They would like to put one in. Neither landowner, to my knowledge, has given it. They don't want anything to do with the data center. They like the property the way it is. So I think it's important. That's where I stand.
I wrote a few things. I'll just read, but a moratorium is one of those topics where initially I made up my mind and I was all in favor of it. And then I did a fair bit of research, including reaching out to our legal counsel. And after doing that, I concluded that a moratorium is not in the township's best interest. Our attorney, he is emphatically opposed to the idea. He does say that if we really want him to, he'll draft it. In fact, he has done it for other communities. But he says it is not at all helpful in a legal sense. In doing so is simply window dressing that has nothing to benefit the township in court. And in fact, it could make it more likely that a data center will win the challenge in court.
How does it work that way?
Because this board lacks the legal authority to ban a data center or any particular use.
We're going to ban. We can't ban it with a moratorium. We can just put rules and regulations in place.
Agreed. So moratorium is essentially a ban for a period of time, right?
And for a period of time. Do we figure out what they want, where they want it? That's the whole idea. Is just to slow them down a little bit. We're not going to win with it. If they take us to court, we won't win with it, more than likely. But at least it gives us some ideas of definition on where they're going to put it, placement. I can't see why it would be a bad thing for the township. But this is their attorney's opinion. I have an article at home that talks about it, and in that article, they think it's very important to have a moratorium. That's it.
And from a too, I feel that, you know, there's different pathways one can try for a moratorium, but it seems like if it is related to land use, then it should go through the planning commission, you know, and then they have to, do that as an amendment to the zoning ordinance, and we're already in that process of, you know, amending the zoning ordinances, and so timeline-wise, it wouldn't be any faster than just going with the process we already have. You know, which is, I assume that's what the planning commission is working on, right, is drafting rules regarding where this use can take place, and then if they take place, it's gonna be special land use, and they have to come back in for a special land use hearing, and, you know, where, if there's concerns that they can be addressed appropriately. That's what the planning commission is working on, right?
Well, we're working on it, yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
I agree, but the process of doing a moratorium under zoning use requires that you follow that same process as far as, you know, hearings and, you know, all the other legal framework, you know, required with that. And, by the time you finish with that, we could already just be done with the rules that you guys are working on now, which was the point of doing the moratorium.
But a moratorium does give us a time where nothing can happen until the moratorium is at its end.
So, I mean, reasonable people
Different,
can disagree, you know, and so I mean, clearly you have your thoughts and I have mine, and, again, Rick, what are your thoughts?
Well, a lot of thoughts, but I think that this moratorium would be a deterrent to someone looking at a place to put a data center. And if they already see there's a deterrent while we're getting the rules, they may back off a little bit, then push it as hard as they are. So I think we should go ahead with the moratorium until we can get the paperwork done to the planning commission and the board here. And it may just be that, a deterrent.
So are you saying that it will take just as long to get the moratorium as it is?
Yes, because the process, you know, I mean, the process is the same. It requires us to go in, you know, hire that planning company to come in and help follow all those critical steps when it comes to updating zoning ordinances, amending the zoning ordinance. And this is an amendment to the zoning ordinance. That's how it has to be adopted. So it requires the same time frame to do that as it does to just amend the ordinance and be done with it.
Public hearings.
Exactly.
Or moratorium.
And that has to be during this.
We did a moratorium before for marijuana.
Marijuana, yes, we did.
Never during the public hearing.
It was, no, not on that one.
No, you did.
But it's because it's a use, is that right?
No, the moratorium is only place a moratorium on the activity until the planning commission has time to draft regulations dealing with that particular activity. That's the idea.
And I did some reading, there have been some townships that have just drafted one as a resolution, but in court, it sounds like, you know, the court says that if this board makes a resolution, that really affects this board, but it doesn't affect, you know, third parties. So we can't, just as a board, pass a resolution to, you know.
A resolution is only an opinion. The letter. Now, if it's gonna take the same amount of time for the planning commission to work on their zoning and a moratorium at the same time, let's just go ahead and do it. Same time, right? You figure about the same amount of time? We don't know yet, we haven't done it.
Right.
So.
I mean, you are welcome to make a motion if you would like.
I'll make a motion that we put a moratorium on data centers for a period of 11 months. Unless it's done sooner.
So a motion by Hartwig and second by Brandt to put a moratorium on data centers for a period of 11 months. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Any discussion? I have some. Should it be a little more specific in that what we really want to do, like more specifically, is have direct the planning commission to.
Well, it's gonna go to the planning.
Okay.
Obviously.
All right. Well, if we don't, I guess we don't have to.
You wanna put that in there? I don't think it hurts.
we can probably.
It automatically goes to planning commission.
Okay,
Want to amend the motion?
no, I don't think we need to. Probably the same understanding, I think that's fine.
So we're doing the one that goes through the process of public hearings and.
Have a public hearing.
All right, and so any more discussion? All right, I would like a roll
Hardwick.
Yes.
Grant.
Yes.
Daly. Yes.
call. No. Motion carries. Tell you one thing I like about this place is that reasonable people can sometimes disagree with each other, and that's okay.
Right.
On to item E. Hire a new person as a medical first responder.
Say his
They
name.
apparently call her Gina.
Say his name.
We told her when she put in her, application that we will not be calling her Eugenia. Her father was named Gene, and he was supposed to have a boy, and he got a girl, and so she's
There it is.
Eugenia, and we said, no, that's not what we're gonna call you, so,
How do you pronounce that last name?
Sure.
Gina.
Jello Casidus. I'm sure it's not
She
right.
is a retired, she's a retired, fun cop, retired from the ATF, so,
What a gift.
ATF agent, so she has time, she's not licensed yet, so we're looking for a class for her to get licensed, so. Sort of take over Ed Streeling's, I mean, he's been trying to retire for 10 years now, and I just keep saying no, so. At some time, he's gonna be 107, so.
Yeah, yeah.
What a great asset he's been to township too. All right, well, I'll make a motion. Motion by Harrison to hire Eugenia C. as a medical first responder for the Hadley Township Fire Department.
Or
Motion by Harrison, second by Hartwig, to hire Eugenia C. as a medical first responder for Hadley Township Fire Department. I don't want to keep murdering her last name. Any discussion?
What a gift.
Roll.
What a gift to have her aboard. These are hard people to find that are available.
Roll call, please.
Grant.
Yes.
Hardwick.
Yes.
Daly. Yes.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Rick, she's a horse girl too, so. There you go.
Just a lesson, that's that before we vote. On to dangerous building at 3063 Woodland Drive. I'd like to thank Ernie for getting that ball rolling. It's taken quite a while, but finally we got a court order to tear down this dangerous building at 3063 Woodland Drive. And tonight we're here to select which contractor. We have two of them here, they're stapled together. The first one is a gentleman we've used in the past on at least one of our other buildings we got tore down, John Wayne Harless. His bid is $19,000. The other bid is for $26,000.
Discussion.
Yeah, we can discuss it, or we can just make up, we can discuss, sure.
This, John Wayne is the guy we used down by Big Fish Lake. He was, when Ernie was our supervisor, he was great to work with. He went above and beyond the duty to clean that up down there, because there was more there than we even expected behind the buildings, from what I remember. And he was great to work with. Obviously he's a little bitter, but this money that we're spending, just so the public knows, does go on the tax sale, if there's a tax sale in that house, so we do get this money back.
Ouch.
No, I know, we had one that.
It's likely to sell for more than $19,000 on Lakewood here.
Yes. So technically speaking, this money will be paid to the highest bidder, lowest bidder, and then, at the tax sale, it would be reimbursed. So it didn't work out that way on one of ours, and we got caught right in the middle between the bank and the owner, and we got burned on that one. But this one should come back. Just so you know what's going on. Thank you.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the bid from John Wayne Harless to demolish the dangerous building located at 3036 Woodland Drive for the amount of $19,000.
Support. Motion by Bailey, seconded by Brandt, to accept the bid from John Wayne Harless to demolish the dangerous building located at 3036 Woodland Drive. It's actually written backwards. It's 3063. Very good. All right.
It's supposed to be 3063.
I believe that is the correct address, yes. Yeah, it's actually, it's on my cheat sheet, it's written backwards, it's written correctly on the agenda. Any more discussion on that?
Yeah, just one thing about John. I've known John for quite a few years, and he does do an excellent job of every job I've ever seen him do. And I think I feel real comfortable hiring John to do that job. That's all I got to say.
And I just want to add some clarification also to what Robert said, that 100% true that in the tax sale, we get reimbursed. This one is not actually a tax sale. As far as I'm aware, they're up on their property taxes and that sort of thing. But my understanding is when it still gets attached to their property taxes, and whenever it transfers ownership the next time, we'll get paid that. So.
Oh, but doesn't transfer ownership and
Yes, but so it might be 100 years in the future, But my understanding is that they're elderly and they don't live there either. But so that's how it works. You do a roll call vote if there's no more discussion.
Hartwood?
Yes.
Stanley? Yes. Grant?
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Town Hall concrete work.
Before we get into that too much, I've got bids coming in on that too. Lisa's not here, but I wish she was, because I've been going to bring this up before the board for a while. But my understanding that the trustees should be doing this kind of work, getting bids, getting this work done. Until we know about it, we can't do anything about it. And it seems that every time something comes up like this, I agree, granted, Lisa does put time in to do it, but it's not her job. And I've got bids coming in. I wouldn't assume not act on this tonight, because I might be able to get something lower, it might not be. I would like to talk to the person that did this price, just to see exactly what he's doing, I want to know what's going on there.
Let's stay with next month then. I'm very agreeable with that.
Okay, so let's let this slide. We won't have to table it. There's no motion to do it. It's just something a subject brought up to talk
Put
about.
that old business next month.
Okay, do that, would you please?
I like this.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Rick, if I may have a bid coming in next week for you.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
I just want to say, by the way, I just assumed that, I don't know if you guys are familiar, there's a lot of concrete. What we're talking about is the concrete steps and the ramp outside the Old Town Hall. I am not a concrete guy, but just looking at that, I assumed that was going to cost $80,000 or something. And we have bids here that are around $10,000. So this is...
That's what scares me.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Yeah, so yeah.
It was actually 12,000, but he gave us a handy resident.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy. Maybe he'll do a great job. I don't know, but I will talk to him and whoever else she had, because then I've got some coming. Dave's got one coming for me. I got 2 other bids coming, so I didn't know there was a timeline and it was going to be on the agenda tonight. So
You know what? It's actually bad communication on my part, because I asked Lisa if she would get those for me. So that actually is my fault, Rick, for not communicating with you on that. All right, on to Item H, AED purchase. So, Lapeer County EMS has a, let's call it a sale going on AEDs. Working with their vendor, with Zoll, they worked out a deal where if they will purchase 25 or more units, they'll get them for half price. So they normally $3,000. So what the EMS did is opened that offer up to other municipalities to see if they could get the quantity they need, because they don't actually need 25 of them for the service. And so they opened up for us, and they're $1,500 a piece, which is a great deal. I'm led to believe the newest one that we have 3. There's one at the Old Town Hall, one here, and one at the mill. And I'm led to believe that the newest one is here, and I inspected it, and it's 10 years old. So for me, that's enough of a threshold to want to go get a new one. Also, these new ones here use the same exact pads as the cardiac monitors that the ambulance uses. So from a practical standpoint, if you're using those and they're on a patient, they don't have to waste time to change them when they get there. They can just plug into their machine. And if we use them, they'll even give us some of theirs for free. So, and apparently these have very cheap batteries also to replace, because sometimes that's how AEDs get you. They have expensive, batteries. So these are $1,500 a piece, and so I'm proposing that we get 3 of them for the township, but 2 more for the fire department. That's still correct. For a total of 5. That math is done for me here. So that's no, that's not right.
65. 65.
That is a little expensive.
$90,000.
65.
You know what? This has a lot of different numbers on it. I think we just need
Hold on, you said 5? 530.
7,500. Yeah.
90,000. You say that.
That's what it says on my cheat sheet.
I was
90,000.
gonna say, I'm not voting for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Those 2 of those, that's $3,000 will come out of the fire department budget.
They are outdated.
Did they just go in the garbage?
I don't know, after days, we were looking at.
That's also a great question. I'm not sure what the decommissioning process.
Could it be that they don't work? They do work.
So it's interesting. There's not a hard date on them that says like a use by date. So for instance, your smoke detectors are good for 10 years, and all modern smoke detectors actually have the date that they were manufactured on them. And at 10 years, normally they start beeping at you to throw them away. Same with carbon monoxide detectors; they're very hard limited. AEDs don't seem to talk to me.
The batteries go bad, and they're $500 on ours. So it's like, but they do have programs where in the past we've swapped, so we get a discount on replacing them. So yeah, batteries are expensive. So I don't know about the Zolls, but
I'm led to believe they're very inexpensive batteries. So, that was apparently a selling feature. And then just as a practical matter, it's an electronic device that sits around in a cabinet that's used to save somebody's life. That's 15 or 20 years old. I mean, at what point, do you start questioning, whether or not that thing's reliable? So.
They need it.
Anybody support that yet? No, because the money figure.
I don't think anybody actually made the motion. I'll make the motion. Eric's going to make the motion to approve the purchase of 5 AED devices for the amount of $7,500.
Support.
Motion by Harrison, seconded by Hardwick, to approve the purchase of 5 AED devices for the amount of $7,500. Any discussion?
I have, your EMTs more likely will take training on these and know how to use them. How about the fire department out here?
we're very well versed. We use them all the time.
Well, I just, why have me know how to use it? I just want to make sure everybody's good too. I used to know how to do that. I mean, I probably still could, but right now physically I couldn't help out. So. Yeah, I wouldn't have training. I had training on.
We put on 1 or 2 community CPR classes, because that gets covered in CPR classes. We put those on last year. Maybe we should schedule some more of those. So we use the fire department to do that. So.
Good idea.
After my wife and I ended up doing CPR on a gentleman at a restaurant, last year, whatever that was, and so after that, we thought, we should make something good out of that, and so that guy ended up surviving it. So we decided to you have to put on a couple CPR, community CPR classes. They filled up pretty fast, so we should probably schedule some more, so. Any more discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Brings us to our second public comment time. We're limited to 3 minutes. Please follow proper decorum. Yes, Chief.
Sad to see Cindy go. You can't imagine how much we interact every single week, but Joyce is there too, so it's like they're the twins, whatever, so every communication is between both of them, but it's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Follow up with another thank you. Tomorrow's my birthday. No blog for you. It was 1 year ago, I have to get this out, 1 year ago yesterday, that someone called me up and said, you have to come to town hall meeting. And I said, no, I'm golfing, I can't do it. It was Rick Brandt, he was adamant, I do this job. And so Rick, publicly, thank you very much for pursuing me for like 7 months coming down here. Secondly, Jason, I don't know if you would need a work be at your place because I've heard it's going to be a public pickleball court. Is that true? So we should all get down there and help out?
Private only.
Oh, private only. Okay. My mistake. Sorry.
Stand back up there. Dave.
What's that?
Stand back up. Since you got me on there, I'm gonna do it to you. I thank you
I
to
can sit
the
down.
bottom of my heart for all the work you did. Everything you went beyond what was supposed to be done. Nobody knows this, but he refurbished the cabinets in the town hall, put the countertops up, put the tile on the walls at no cost to the township. Now, what other builder we've hired would have done something like that without charging us? And he did an amazing job. His prices were reasonable, way reasonable. I think we should all just give him a big hand. He wants to sing happy birthday to you?
Just bring me a cake tomorrow.
Okay, there you go. All right.
And not only that, but we inserted a lot of cooks into the kitchen, and he did a good job tolerating that as well, so I appreciate it.
I did find my worker had a little bit of problem with that. So.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I also would like to thank Dave for the work at the mill. We had water damage down there with a broken pipe, a lot of damage. And he saved us all a lot of money with the cabinets we thought we were gonna have to replace in the kitchen. He was able to fix them. And he also added a special door in the cabinet that we are able to access the cupboard underneath there. And I really appreciate all the work that he did also. And it's ready for our 4th grade school tour, which I wasn't sure it would even be finished by that time. And it's ready for those kids to come and have a tour.
Nice.
Yeah, I talked with my nephew Dean, who works in electrical industry for the high power tension lines in the data center. He said that most probably Hadley Township wouldn't get a data center because the power lines that go through our township are not anywhere near what's needed for a data center. So, I mean, anything is possible, but very low likelihood. You know, we say there's power lines over there, they can put a data center, they'd have to bring them from a long ways away with enough power to do it. Now, of course, they spend a lot of money, but that is a little bit of hope to know that there'd be a lot of money just to get power to that data center, and probably wouldn't happen because it's so far away. That's a good question. Anyway, that's what I know.
Thanks. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to thank you guys for finding me and appreciate it. Thank you, Cindy. Everything I know. All the election was so sort of here today. I came on as a and didn't know anything, and, Sandy, Eddie, helped me, learn the first steps, and then, of course, being hired here by you, was really awesome. I had no idea, and taught me everything, so thank you, and I'll miss you.
Anybody else? All right, that brings us along to board member comments. How about you, Cindy?
One thing I wanted to comment about tire recycling. We did hear from them about, it was back in April, from the state, and they're still working on grants. I guess, I don't remember, I should wrote down the number, how many millions.
1.6 asked for, $1 million now, $2 million or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so there are gonna be quite a few that aren't getting the grants. They said they're working on them though, and they just wanted us to know that they're still, they didn't forget about us. It usually takes months to hear if they're getting the grant or not. Probably next month or something, hopefully we'll hear. And then we're talking about maybe just doing it in the summertime. I don't know though, because I'm not part of that anymore.
Also,
That's gonna be really hard, you guys, just not being part of everything anymore.
We're gonna put you in the trucks.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
and more specifically too, I think we budgeted some money in case we don't get it. We budgeted money to do it ourselves, and then we also talked about when we do have the event. So I think we're still likely to have it this year. That we were going to take your suggestion and try to also do metal recycling, and maybe even not necessarily hard pass, but we talked about maybe bringing in like some roll off dumpsters to do actual big garbage items and some things. So we certainly having those discussions. So.
And computer recycling.
Let's go next.
Okay, Ellen, in answer to your question a while ago, you talked about the basement. And I have kind of lightly already mentioned it to Dave, if he wanted to take a look at it, to see if we could come up with something. He did, and he hasn't really committed or anything, but maybe his next birthday I'll twist his arm again. But I feel that the prices that we got the first time around were very, very inflated. I think I proved it on one occasion when the woman had the septic field, this little septic field back here, appraised at $150,000. I looked at that blueprint, because I was in that business for a lot of years, and I looked at the blueprint, and if I'd have charged $50,000, I should have felt guilty, because it was that big of a field. And she had a price under $150,000, so I asked her, that night, I said, if everything in here is inflated like that septic field, you guys are going to make billions on this building. So they wanted $3 million to finish the basement. We paid $1 million too for this for the whole building. But then I asked that question, she's got walked out. She knew they were inflated. And so I think that we need to go back to the drawing board and get a solid price on that, Ellen, and maybe we can set some money aside to keep this some of this money to spend. I think I talked to Jason a little about it today, and he agreed with me on it. So we're gonna check into that, Ellen. So.
Well, it sounds to me like you and I have talked about this and we haven't. So
I know we haven't.
I'm glad you brought that up. When I was at the budget meeting, I'm sorry I didn't bring something up to maybe budget some money for it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't talked this. It was something to do with hunting and fishing. We don't talk anything other than that. So this is something different for us to talk about. Okay, I think that's all I think I have right now.
Good. All right. Yes, I agree with your brother that I would like to pursue that further and see if we can get some numbers that make sense. And it could be a real treasure being able to turn that basement into a usable space. So I would like to pursue that, but I don't want to spend $3 million either. So, there's a first first I heard about Metamora Estates, building these, 86 houses on the 68 acres. You know, some residents called and worked with them to get more horse signs put up on that road down a year, so ago. So, having all those extra cars in there seems not conducive to horse riding. It's not, I don't think there's really anything the township, Hadley Township can do about that, but that sounds less than ideal. I think we covered recycling, and I agree. I think data centers are super unlikely to come here. I do a lot of reading on the topic, and try to gather as much data because this is clearly a big thing that's going on. And I think we don't have the power to support it. The one they're building in Saline Township right now, and so everybody knows, in Saline Township, the planning commission recommended to not allow them to build it, and then the board also agreed that they should not be able to build that data center, and they got taken to court and forced to do it because it's inappropriate to say that you can't have that use in our township. So, we're gonna do it. They're building the largest one in Michigan in Saline right now. I don't know a whole lot about gigawatts and megawatts and all of that, but I looked at the power consumption for that one. It's rated to use more energy than Fermi 2, our nuclear power plant, produces. And Fermi 2, as far as I can tell, is 20% of the generation for Detroit Edison. So, huge quantities of power. You can't even imagine how much, right? So, and even the power lines we do have aren't anywhere near where the zoning would have to be, to build this, because ultimately it's a warehouse with computers in it. So, maybe in the industrial, maybe they could try to work something out in the commercial that was small enough, but there's no power available there. So, and the financials seem to not really be working out. I think it's a big bubble that's about to burst. I think they're unlikely to finish building most of the ones under construction now. So that's kind of my opinions on that.
The planning commission should go ahead with it.
Yeah, they've been directed to do so. We passed that motion. So I'm fine. I just sharing some more.
What makes you think that the ones that are started won't finish?
When you look at the numbers, they're spending way more money than they're making. It's not generating. They thought it was going to generate piles of revenue, and it's not. So they're spending up here, but their revenue's down here, and they keep borrowing more and more and more billions. And they're having a hard time. They're running out of investors. They're having a hard time meeting the next round of funding. And I'm certainly not I'm not a financial genius or whatever, but just in researching these, it seems like it's probably not working out like they thought it was going to. So.
There's a lot of them.
And then, all over the country, all over the state even. And then just the last thing, we have this resolution here.
Hold on, just a second.
Oh, yes.
I just have one more thing I would like to add. I'm sitting here looking out there, and these tables are almost full. I love this. You guys keep coming to our meetings. I love it when you guys come to the meetings. I find out what's going on. It makes me feel good. When I first got on the board many years ago, there would be the fire chief, there would be the board, and once in a while, a citizen that would bring something up. And that's all we would have at the meetings. Fire chief and maybe the assistant, but 3 people in the audience and in the board, and then they would complain about all the decisions we made without being here. And you guys are here. I thank you. Thank you for coming.
I agree with that. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, when I just started, I remember writing down six residents every meeting. It was the same 6.
So I was just going to read this resolution real quick, and then we'll be done with board member comments. A resolution to commend Cynthia Daly on her retirement as clerk of Hadley Township. Whereas Cynthia Daly did serve as the clerk of Hadley Township Board beginning in July of 2006, and whereas Cynthia Daly will retire on May 31st, 2026, after having faithfully served the citizens of Hadley Township as a member of the Hadley Township Board for 20 years, and whereas Cynthia Daly demonstrated exceptional resilience in the administration of the ever-changing landscape of elections. Her willingness to learn and dedication to honesty and integrity resulted in the certification of over 30 elections during her tenure as Hadley Township Clerk, while also processing township finances and guiding the township through successful annual fiscal audits. And whereas Clerk Daly instituted several community projects for Hadley Township residents, including the Hadley Township Wide Garage Sale, scrap tire recycling cleanup, and music in the park. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hadley Township Board, in the name of the people of Hadley Township, do hereby express our sincere gratitude to Cynthia Daly for her exemplary service. Be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the records of Hadley Township, Lapeer County, State of Michigan, on this 12th day of May in the year 2026, there to remain forever.
Very impressive.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move adjourned.
Or, motion by Hartwig, second by Bryant, to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.
Yes.